All right, we are live. Welcome again to another broadcast. Let's hit it. All right. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. And welcome to another broadcast. So glad that you guys can join us. For this broadcast, we're going to dive into look at this whole SNAPocalypse situation where we have, as you know, that federal funding for these food programs are running out. And so you have a lot of people saying a lot of things out there. Well, we're going to take the time and look through it, and we're going to go to the source like we always do. So if you or somebody you know that's been out here, getting wrapped up in the fear of it, make sure you share them this link, because we're going to get rid of all of that this evening, okay? Thank you so much for joining us, and give us about a minute and we'll get started. Good to see the people coming in the chat. So glad that you guys can join us. We got Willie in the house. You got your own seat. It's already reserved, man. Every time I turn around, you there. Good to see you, brother. And then we got Miss Sana in the house as well. Good to see you. And everybody else that's coming in, good to see you as well. All right, about another 20 seconds and then we're going to start. Michael in the house, good to see you as well, brother. All right. Well, welcome again. So glad that you guys could join us. Hey, I got a question for you. Have you been doing your breathing exercises? Have you been listening to what I've been putting out here? I hope you have, because I'm going to tell you, it really makes a world of difference, y'all. This is something that can literally revolutionize your life. And I'm not just saying that just to say that. I mean, it's just amazing what just taking a few minutes out of your day at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, what it can actually do in terms of resetting you. I was actually going to do a video today because I've been learning about, how animals actually fit into all of this. And man, wow. It's wow. So that one, I'll probably do that on Samba. I was actually going to try to do that today, but I was like, I'll do it tomorrow. So I may have a video out for tomorrow. So good to see Justice 85 in the house. Janet Thompson also. Gonna shout out all y'all as I see you. Thank you so much as always for being here with us. So anyway, just as a quick reminder to you again, we do have our promo that is still going strong over on SNAPocalypse.com. Just want to make sure you are very aware of it. SNAPocalypse, save up to 30% off the entire store. All right. Up to 30% off. And a couple look pretty good. They look pretty good. Anyway, up to 30% off. And there you go. That's the breakdown right there. For teas in our garden section, body care, oral care, copper, and then the stones. We were yesterday. My wife and I. We went out to look at some stones just for some future inspiration. And man, I tell you, this earth is full of a lot of wonders. It really is. When you go out and you look at all of these different stones and the different designs and stuff that's in it, oh, it's so beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff. And so that's what we try to bring to you here on Sabbatry.com. So make sure you check us out. Again, the promo is still going pretty strong there. Everything from we got vitamins, we have powders, we got bitters, we got stuff for your skin, we got stuff for your toothpaste. We got a whole lot of stuff. So make sure you check that out. Again, go over and check us out over on Sabbatry.com. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. Let me tell you something as we're getting into it, and I'm getting warmed up here. Oh my gosh, man. No, I'm going to take us out of it. Okay. I'm going to take us out of it. Why did they give me access to this AI stuff? Y'all. Oh my gosh, man. Let me tell you something. If I was in high school, if this was a rewind, if I was in high school in this era, and someone has some words to say about me, oh my goodness. Let me just tell you, I was voted class clown. Yes, yours truly was voted class clown. I was. And man, if I had these tools today, oh man, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. It would be something else. I'm trying to find some. Let me get some for y'all. Okay. I'm just gathering some of these things up for y'all right quick. Okay. Let me gather some of these things up for you right quick. I got to go to TikTok here. Hold on for a second, because I thought I downloaded. These people are wild out here. You hear me? These people are wild out here. Let me see if I can find one. Hold on. Oh man, Jaylen Brown. How many of y'all know about that story about Jaylen Brown? He plays for the Boston Celtics. And they basically came out that, that hair up that he has up there, well, that hair ain't exactly real. And when I tell you, people ain't wasting time to get stuff out on these folks, memes on these folks, they're not playing. I mean, these memes are coming out quicker than I don't know what. I don't know how they're able to get them out this fast. I don't know how they're able to get them out this fast. But anyway, let me share with you just some of the ones that I've been collecting, because that's all I've been doing. I just been collecting stuff, y'all. I have been just collecting this stuff here, and let me find where I am here, and then I'll start showing them. Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness, here we go. Let me start off with Jaylen. Check this one out. This fall, Disney. What happened? A story about okay, hold on. Mouse button here. Okay, where are you? Okay, here it is. All right, here we go.
Disney and Pixar present a story about a man who couldn't help to rub off on others.
You just get paint on me?
Bro, that's on my jersey.
Jaylen,
my bad.
Maybe it's time to accept who you really are.
I don't know if I'm ready.
Yo, is that hair dye?
Receding.
Oh, oh my goodness. Why they do Jaylen like that? But wait, there's more. Oh my gosh. Where'd it go? I'm trying to find where. Oh my gosh, I just sent a bunch of them here. Where'd it go? Okay, hold on for a second. I'm gonna have to send it again. Oh no, here it is. Okay, do you remember that? Okay, some of y'all may know that girl who was pretending to be a guy, and she's a substitute teacher, and she got called out because of something she was doing, and basically she got fired same day, and they didn't waste any time making a meme off of it.
First day.
Oh my gosh! Hold on. I don't. Okay, here we go.
First day sub life. They really got me teaching algebra. Damn, shorty.
Damn. The board decided we have to let you go, Jay.
I'm not perfect. I messed up, and I let a lot of people.
Everybody online hates me now. I don't even know who I am anymore.
Let me get up out of here before one of these students try to take me down. I look so young, they think I'm one of them.
Her video blog is breaking.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Ain't no, I'm telling you, you ain't there's no time. I mean, you do something dumb out here, they already got a whole movie trailer out here for you. They'll put out a whole movie trailer. That's just how much the game has gone up now. Oh my goodness. Check this one out.
I thought the Bible said we could heal people, Mama.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yah was a Canaanite deity?
The Yah discovery. Every belief has an origin.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Why they give me the tools? Why did they give me the tools? Let me see. Let me see if I can find one more for y'all. Hold on. Let me see if I can find one more. Why did they give me the tools, man? Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can find one more. One more. Hold on. No, not that one. Not that one. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. I got a bunch of them here. I'm trying to figure out which one here. Hold on. Let me do, I got two more here. All right, hold on. I'll do this one, and I will do, I'll do this one. I'll do two more. Okay, I got two more lined up. All right, here we go. I got two more for y'all, and then we'll go ahead and jump in. These people, when I tell you, they're not wasting any time. They're getting stuff out, man. Here we go. Check this one out. Hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's performance of Diddy the Musical.
Diddy in the house, Hollywood, Hillside, we're about to light it up tonight. We're gonna have a freak-off party over the city lights. Let's freak off together, all dressed in white.
Look at the labels, look at the foil, baby oil.
So much baby oil.
Stacks and stacks we can't avoid. Hundreds of bottles. You're going to jail, Diddy.
Yeah,
I'm going to jail,
for
Diddy.
what I done and what I didn't do.
Jail, Diddy.
And the Tony goes to Diddy the Musical.
Woo! Thank you. How much do you think I can sell this award for? I need more baby oil.
How they do? This is all AI, y'all. Anyway, let me see what this one is. Is this the same one? Hold on, let me see. All right, I think this. Yeah, let's check this one out.
Name?
Sofia Hernandez.
You have any ID on you?
I tell people the law's the law, that I'm just doing my job. But what they don't know is I'm undocumented too. Every time I put someone on that bus, I wonder if I'm next.
I think that's it. I think that's y'all. I could go all night with this. I played this one for y'all already. Check this one out.
That reparations plan actually worked. Wait until they try to use that digital money.
Purchase not allowed.
Why?
To be continued.
Anyway, so as you can see, this is giving us a whole nother avenue of ways that we can communicate and get right to the point, and in a very creative way, So I'm still exploring it and, doing different things and all of that and all of that. So, yeah, you'll be seeing a lot more coming from us, but you're going to still see the real me. OK, this ain't going nowhere. OK, I'm still here. OK, just like me, just like my wife. We still here. OK, so just want to make that very clear. OK, we're the real intelligence. OK, but anyway, man, these folks, they done lost it. It's funny. So anyway, let's go ahead and move on. So tonight we're going to talk about this whole situation regarding the, as many of you have been hearing about the fears of, oh my gosh, they're taking away all these benefits for these poor folks or whatever. And, this is what Trump did. I tell you, Trump, he's this and Trump is that or whatever. Let me be clear again. Again, I did not vote for Trump. I'm not a supporter of Trump. I am not a supporter of Republicans or the Republican Party or anything like that. Many, many years ago, I was I was conservative, but, spending a great deal of time in that space, I came to the conclusion that it was no different than the other side, and so from that point, I chose to be an outsider, if you will, when it comes to politics. And, there's things on a local level I participate in, but on the national level, no, because it's all a game at the end of the day. So, wherever you stand, you stand. I'm not mad at you one bit at all. So if you vote or not vote, not mad at you at all. Okay. So we're not going to run that game on you saying that if you don't vote, the ancestors are going to rise from the dead and slap you in the face. Nobody's going to say that. Okay. You do what you do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just want to be clear about this. So tonight, what we're going to do is something very simple. All right. And that is to go to the source. I mean, why not? And there have been, if you saw, it was a video I did recently. I talked about how, AI or, the internet for that matter, social media, you do have, it basically uses the information that it's provided. Okay. And so it takes that information that it's provided and it takes it, manipulates it and represents it as something that's real. Now, in that video, I was talking about how now that you have AI involved, it has taken it to some very dangerous levels. So as you saw in those little clips that I showed you, some of them, I mean, you take a look at it, it's like, man, I didn't even know they were real. I thought they were real people. You know what I'm saying? So you have a lot of that going on. In the last video, we showed you that there have been a flood of videos that have been online of, focusing on particularly black women. Usually they have them in shower caps, sitting in the car. Okay. And they're screaming and hollering about their SNAP, and they're saying that their SNAP stuff is going to be taken away. And if their SNAP benefits are taken away, they're going to go and do this, that, or whatever. Right. Well, we took an honest look at that and said, hey, some of these videos are actually true. These are real people. Some of these videos, however, it's been proven that they are not real. They are AI generated. Okay. And so I was just saying, listen, they serve multiple purposes depending on the person that's watching and commenting. So, you got to be careful on when you're looking at stuff these days. You know what I mean? Because quite honestly, like I said, if, I don't feel bad if you're someone like, oh, I thought that was real. Don't feel bad. We ain't going to shame you here. Okay. Because the technology is moving at such a breakneck speed. It's deceiving a lot of people. Okay. And a lot of people just simply don't know. You know what I mean? But the truth of the matter is, are there people out here that are out here who are very scared, or at least pretending to be, about losing their SNAP benefits? And the answer to that is yes, there are. There are people out here that are very afraid of that. But let's add another caveat, shall we? Let's add another caveat. There are people, and I've talked about this before, there are people who are out here who are doing this because they are simply trying to, what they call, engage farm. They're basically trying to get people to engage on their post, on their video, so that they can possibly go viral and that their numbers can go up, which means that they can get paid. Okay, we have said repeatedly, remember I talked about building your own community. And remember I was saying how your community is going to be made up of different people. You know, they're not, your own community doesn't necessarily have to be all black. You remember I said that? I said your community needs to be made up of people who you vibe with the most, right? And I also said this. I said that you're going to find, not in all cases, but you are going to find some of the people who are fighting hardest against you are going to be people who look like you. Remember me saying that? I'm not saying you got to hate all black people and consider all black people your enemy. I'm not saying that. Of course, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is just because they look like you, it doesn't mean that they're for you. Okay? That's just a simple life lesson. So case in point, I want to show you this video that has been making the rounds on social media. And this is a black woman. This video is actually a very real person. This is not AI. Okay? And so let me show you the video. I think she's going to be cursing in there or whatever. And, but you know, just, we got mature ears out here. But anyway, let me play this video for you. And I want you to take a listen, a watch and a listen. And then I'm going to play another video right after that. Okay. Volume's up. Let's go.
Hi, you guys. I'm out of the store. So they wanted $7 for this. Mind you, I don't have food stamps anymore. They cut me off. So I only had $22 left in food stamps. So this is what I stole. Okay. They wanted $9 for this. I said, oh, I don't got $9. Then they wanted $2 for this. They wanted, sorry, it's all fucked up because it's been in my purse. $7 for this. I'm making some stuffed salmon today. These are needed. I'm not paying $7 for that. Okay. Let me show you the most important thing to me. Short ribs. Take off the label so that you don't beep. Get your fucking meat. How many do you think that I got? How many short ribs is that? And can I be real? More y'all bitch ass niggas should have started taking shit from the motherfucking corporations a long time ago. Y'all just didn't have that shit in your motherfucking bones. Get out there and get in the motherfucking field like I told you. Everything out here is yours. Whether or not you take it, they call that shit free will. I call that shit eminent domain. You know what I'm saying? One thing I learned from the white men, take it! Hey, now! Take it! I don't give a fuck who's already sitting there. I don't give a fuck if your land was already established. Bitch, it's mine now, and I want it. That is what we should be preaching in the land to the fucking masses. Act more like a white man. Take it for yourself, bitch, and you won't be worried about who don't got it. You see what I'm saying? Get out there and ravish. Last but not least, go in that church and infiltrate. Don't be stupid. Get in there. Ask them for some rent money. Ask them for some help. You've been tithing. Say your lights is off. You need a stipend. You need some food. Go to the church. Ask for help. If the pastor don't help you out, blast them on social media. Quickest way to fuck up the church's money is ask for some. Go do it. See what you get. Report back to a real bitch. Let me know. If the church doesn't help you after all those tithes you gave, well, go ask for your tithes back. See if they can give you a donation form and they can just redonate your money back to you. See if they can do that. If they can't, I want you to come back under this post and give me the reason why they said they cannot reimburse you back the money you and your family have given to them for years. Also, why they can't help you. Let me know.
Okay, so like I said again, that's a real video. That is not AI video. Okay. All right. So let's now, I want to take you to an updated video because I went to her channel and it's very interesting because she doesn't have a lot of comment. It was on a lot of commenters at all. It just, yeah, it was for a video that went like viral the way this video did. It was really interesting to see how few commenters she actually had. So those are like red flags. But anyway, let me now play for you this video that she posted. Take a listen.
Hey, and that's the point of a skit, is to get that monetization from it. You know what I'm saying? That's the point. I'm happy, I'm blessed. Thank you guys.
Okay, so she's, you know, unless she's playing on there or whatever, don't know, but she basically was on there basically saying that, yeah, it was a skit. The whole thing was a skit. But as you know, the most negative stuff goes out a lot further and longer than once you come out later on and be like, oh, I was just kidding. Well, it's too late now because it's going, you know, it's all over the place. So like I said, so this is one case where you could say this is a real person. This isn't AI or anything like that. But this is a person that has made the decision to basically to continue to push a stereotype of, no, obviously not just her, but other people who look like her. You see what we're dealing with out here? So that's why it's so important for us to really make sure that we're pumping the brakes on all the information that comes our way, and we take the time and we look and see, okay, what is the truth here? You understand? So yes, and we've talked about this before on this platform. Yes, Black folks are disproportionately impacted by these benefits. That's just the truth. Now, you know, again, I've dealt with that. I've showed you the stats and the numbers and all of that. I've done that many times on this platform. When you look at different groups, yes, white people, and when you look at the numbers, they do use these benefits more so than Black folks. Put a star by that. But when you look at per capita, okay, that's the kryptonite that people like to run away from. What that basically shows us is basically, let's look at the group itself. Okay. So when you look at it from a per capita angle, what it really shows is that if you're comparing white versus Black and all the other groups, it's Black folks who have a higher percentage within their numbers that depend on these programs than white people. That's just the truth. Okay. And like I said, you can do whatever you want with the numbers, but at the end of the day, that's what it is. And so anyway, yes, this is an issue, and we've had deeper discussions about that, you know, but tonight we're not going to do that. Okay. We've already talked about, how do you call it a community when you have such a high percentage of this community that's leaning on the government? You know what I mean? So we've had that conversation. I want to encourage you to go back on that. But tonight, what I want to do is we're going to look at, and this is something I encourage anybody to do. All right. I just wanted to make this simple and easy so that anybody can look at it and you can do it yourself. For starters, anytime, there's a bill nowadays that comes out, is that, when if you've ever, like me and others, and I'm sure many of you as well, anytime they come out with these big spending bills, most people, they're not, the legalese, the amount of legalese they put in these bills, it's just nuts. Most average people aren't going to really understand it. It just isn't. And I'm average, okay? Okay, so I'm not speaking on top of Mount Dwayne here, okay? When it comes to that, I'm average, okay? I got a lot of times read that stuff several times until it's like, okay, I think I get it now, But again, we talk about the negative aspects of AI, but there's also positives of it as well. And that's what we try to educate and show people that on this platform. And so nowadays, anytime a bill, or any bill for that matter, going in the past, if you want to know what's in that bill, they automatically upload the entire contents of that bill onto these different platforms like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Grok, what have you. And so now you can really interact with the bill, and you can say, okay, explain this to me like I was a 2-year-old, and it will do it for you, and it'll give you page numbers and the whole nine. So anytime you come across bills that are like big and scary, like the big beautiful bill or whatever, when we're listening to the mainstream media, everybody's taking the part that they want to run with and make it their own narratives and stuff. But see, we don't care about that. Let's go to the source. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. All right. So what I did was just that. I am using ChatGPT. All right. So just want to show you just how easy this is. And we're going to get to it as soon as I can find my right window here. And let's bring it up, and we're going to look at it. And I'm going to already show you some of the questions that I asked. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, and now, I just started from the base. Okay, I said, what is the name of the bill that outlined the stipulations of the latest changes to the SNAP program? And then it said the bill that outlines the latest major changes to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program is the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. And then they give you the number and all that stuff, right? Okay, there you go. And it says, and then I said, okay, so now I want you to take a closer look at this bill for me. Could you outline the requirements in this bill for people who are on SNAP? And then here are the key requirements of it. It gave me the answer. All right. So we're going to read all of it, just enough for you to get it. Okay. Major SNAP related provisions. Work requirements for able-bodied adults without dependents. All right. Very important here. Let me read that part again. Work requirements for able-bodied adults without dependents. The bill raises the age limit for who must meet work/training requirements, previously 18 to 49, or up to 54, in some cases, up to the age of 64, for adults without dependents. Requires these individuals to work, volunteer, or participate in job training, education for a minimum number of hours. Example, 80 hours per month is referenced to continue receiving SNAP beyond the standard time limits. Now, again, let's stop there for a second, because I can go back and even ask this in the actual bill, and it will come up on here too. But when you look at the actual text of the bill, what it's saying is it's not saying you got to work 80 hours a month. It's not saying that. You can actually mix. In other words, it could be 20 hours of doing your volunteer work. It could be 20 hours of doing job training or education, or you could mix and match, and do whatever. What they're saying in the bill is they want to see you trying to move forward. That's basically what they're saying. Again, I'm not defending the government here, okay? I'm not government guy here, okay? This is what's in the bill, okay? So we're going to the source. Let's ignore the commentators out here that are trying to feed in the fear and all that nonsense, okay? We're at the source here, okay? Eligibility of non-citizens immigrants. The bill narrows eligibility for non-citizens, certain lawfully present non-citizens such as registry aliens, paroled entrants, those granted withholding of deportation, etc., are no longer eligible for SNAP. Well, this is what a lot of people voted for. We're giving food assistance these are set aside from the federal government. Let me be clear here. All of this is referring to the federal government, okay? And what the federal government is now saying is we're not going to be the monies that we have. If we're going to be taking care of the poor in this country, we want to make sure that money is going towards Americans, not just someone that just decided to cross the border one day and then say, okay, we got you on a food program. And I don't feel any kind of way about that. I don't. I literally don't, because I know if my black behind went to Mexico, I jumped over the fence and said, I'm going to Mexico. I'm not going to, I strongly believe they're not going to automatically want to enroll me, my black face, on their rolls and say, okay, here's your food rations. I seriously doubt that would happen. And I think the whole world knows that, but nobody wants to bring that up. I'll bring it up though. Anyway, let's see. Okay, it restricts SNAP eligibility to citizens, lawful permanent residents with exceptions, some special entrant statuses, like example, Cuban, Haitian entrants under certain conditions. So they got some clauses for them. Benefit calculation, cost controls, and administrative changes. The bill includes a provision to reevaluate and restrict the growth rate of the Thrifty Food Plan, the benchmark used to calculate maximum SNAP benefit levels, so that future benefits increases are more constrained. Okay. Changes to standard utility allowances rules and restrictions on what internet expenses and internet expenses qualify as deductions for SNAP eligibility. Let's see. Increases the state cost sharing. This is the key part here. Now I want to highlight. Increases the state cost sharing and puts conditions on states if a state's SNAP payment error rate exceeds a certain threshold. The state may have to bear a greater share of benefit costs or administrative cost increases. See, in the past, up to this point, what's been happening is, the state, they just been very wobbly when it comes to, giving out benefits to their citizens, and meaning that they're not really tight on the error rate. And so because they know, the government will take care of it. We ain't got to worry about that. The federal government will step in. Well, now what's happening is federal government is saying, no more. No, it's on you now. You're going to have to make sure your stuff is right. And if once you can show us that your house is in order, and if you still come up with the overage, we'll step in and we'll assist based off of that. That's basically what they're saying. All right, that's basically what's going on. Let's go on. Administrative and matching fund changes. The federal share of administrative costs for SNAP is reduced, i.e. the federal government pays a smaller percentage of states' administrative costs, which places greater burden on the states. So now it's up to the states to step in and to handle business with their people. That's basically what this bill ultimately is about. It's the federal government pushing back and saying, hey, we're still going to be here, but don't shift all your stuff to the federal. No, now you as the states, y'all going to have to step in and start standing up for your people. Now you're going to have to start doing more. That's what they're saying. All right. The bill also includes a national accuracy clearinghouse and an enhanced data verification requirements, including for non-citizen status, to reduce improper payments. All right. That's what they're saying there. All right. What does this mean for someone on SNAP? Okay. So now we're getting a little bit more there. Greetings, everybody that's coming in. Acarius is in the house. Peace and Mind Counseling. I think I gave you a shout out, Miss Sana, already. And I'm trying to see if anybody else. Alchemist in the house. Let me see what else. Okay. If I miss you, I do apologize. Oh, Janet Thompson in the house. I think I shouted you out already. Crescendo in the house. Got you there too. All right. What it means for someone on SNAP. If you are an adult without dependents, let me read that again. If you are an adult without dependents, i.e., no minor children in the household, and in a state where the ABAWD rules apply, and let me go back and make sure we got that. That was defined up here. That means able-bodied adults without dependents. That's what that means, okay? Okay, so read that again. If you're an adult without dependents, let's see, i.e. no minor children in the household, and in a state where the, what I just told you, rules apply, you will now be required to meet the new tougher work training hours. Example, 80 hours a month up to the age of 64. And again, that's what I was just saying as far as it's not that you have to work 80 hours a week. It's 80 hours a month. Sorry. It's not that you got to put in 80 hours a month. What they're saying is basically you have to, you can mix and match. Basically, it could be 20 hours of work, or you could say, hey, listen, I'm going to put in a significant amount of those hours doing volunteer work, or something, something to the effect, or you're showing that you are doing job training, something like that. And a lot of these job training stuff is actually free. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let's move on. The benefits amount. Okay, the benefits. Okay, here we go. If you are a non-citizen or lawfully present immigrant, your eligibility may change depending on your specific status. For example, registry alien or those withholding status may be excluded. The benefit amounts you receive may grow more slowly over time due to the Thrifty Food Plan adjustment. Let's see. The benefit amounts. Okay. And your state's administrative procedures may become more strict. In other words, utility allowances or internet expenses deductions may be reduced. All right. And let's go here. States may impose more verification or stricter rules due to cost sharing and error rate penalties, which could mean more documentation, more frequent eligibility reviews, or changes in how deductions are handled. Y'all give me just a moment. Okay. I'm just going to hit the mute here for a second. Okay. Hold on for a sec. Nicole, can you come in real quick? Just come in. I don't know if someone's trying to order something. Okay, sorry about that. And there you go. All right, so yeah, so far we're getting a more clear picture on what's going on here. Okay. All right, so now here's the next question that I asked. Okay, let me go back. Let me scroll down here. All right. If you're an adult with children and back up. What was my question? So this is my question. Okay, so what if you are an adult with children? How would this bill impact that individual? All right. And then I encourage y'all, if you guys have questions that you want to ask, we're live. We're live right now, unless you act, looking at the recorded version of this, put it in the chat. If you're watching this live and you have some questions that you want to ask, put it in the chat. I'll put it in there for you. Okay. All right. If you're an adult with children. Okay. So let me go back again. Okay. So what if you're an adult with children? How would this bill impact the individual? If you're an adult with children and an eligible recipient of supplemental or of SNAP, basically, here's how the changes in the bill would affect you and areas where this text is still ambiguous or under implementation. All right. All right. So they're going to give you everything here. All right. Okay. What remains the same or largely unchanged? The exemption that currently applies for households with children remain in concept under existing law. Many adults with children are not subject to the able-bodied adults without dependents work time limit rules. So you got a lot of these people out here screaming, and depending on their situation there, they're not even impacted by this. For a lot of these people, it's going to stay the same. All right. Your household remains eligible for SNAP, assuming that you meet the other income, asset, residency, immigration criteria. If you are the adult in a household with children and you are not subject to the stricter, if you are an adult in a household with children and you are not subject to the stricter, rules that we talked about, okay? Other eligibility criteria, income deductions, citizenship, residency, etc., still apply, though some are being changed, which may indirectly affect eligibility for families, such as deductions for internet expenses, utility allowances, state cost sharing. All right. So far, it looks like, a lot of these people are going to be fine. Okay. There are going to be some exceptions there. We know this, right? The age of so what changes could impact you as a parent guardian with children? The age of the dependent child for exemption with certain stricter rules is lowered under the OBBBA households where the dependent's child is older than the new threshold may no longer be exempt from some work time limit requirements. For example, one analysis notes that the dependent age threshold is lowered from under the age 18 to under 7 under the House version of certain rules. Okay, so you see they made changes to that. Okay, here's the next point. Because of that change, if your child is older than the newly defined dependent threshold, e.g., older than 7 in some versions, you as the adult might now be subject to work or training requirements or stricter checks for continuing to receive benefits, whereas before you might have been exempt. So so if you are an adult and you have a child that's from that, basically they're saying like under 7 up until the age of, 18? Did they say 18 up here? Up to the age of 18. Then what I would advise is that you need to check with whoever your local person that you deal with. Just check with them and see how that impacts you, because as they said earlier, there's going to be some ambiguity going on in how this stuff is written. Okay. But so far it doesn't look like a whole lot is going to change. Not really. And the stuff that they're asking people to do, like, again, going to, get finding work train. Even if you can't find a job, there are other things you can do to meet that requirement. Okay. So as long as you're doing just those things, what they're saying is basically the day of you just sitting back and then getting your checks coming in, those days they're pulling the plug on that. You now are going to have to show some initiative. That's what they're doing. And it's a very bare minimum that they're asking for. All right. The changes emphasize expanding the work training requirements for certain categories and reducing waivers exemptions. While much of the focus is on able-bodied adults without dependents, some analyses suggest parents of older children, not young dependents, may be pulled into more obligations. Okay. Administrative burden and cost shifts to states may increase, which may affect how easily families with children can navigate eligibility renewals and eligibility determinations. For example, states may face increased cost sharing and stricter verification rules under this whole big, beautiful bill thing. Okay, so what I will tell you is that my personal opinion is that states have been very comfortable up to this point in just deferring to the federal government to just foot the bill. Up to this point, they just been very comfortable with that and just saying, the federal government, they'll take care of that. But it's a new day now. And so what I think is going to happen, this is just living life, is that these states are going to reluctantly have to start finding money somewhere to help fill in what a lot of the stuff that's been lost, and stuff that they just assumed that the federal government was going to do in the past. Now it's going to be on the states to have to find that money, which means that they're going to find all kind of ways to raise taxes, to charge fees. They're going to be looking all kind of ways. So just be on the lookout for that, because now that this is being shifted back to the states, now you're going to start seeing things like that happening. So taxes, even, fuel costs will probably go up, like state taxes when it comes to fuel, other little things. They're going to be sneaking in a bunch of these things. And this is why I'm going to say this. For those of you who don't vote, I totally get it. Hey, I don't have nothing to do with it and all that stuff. I'm totally there. I got you, but I will tell you this. We do need to start paying very close attention to the local referendums, the local elections. We do need to start paying more attention to that, because it's going to be at those council meetings and all of that where they're going to be sneaking in a bunch of stuff. I'm telling you, mark my word, now that this burden is going to be shifted back to the states, now they're going to find all kind of ways to start sneaking in higher fees on a bunch of stuff. And if you are not paying attention to it, you're going to be, next thing you know, you're going to be frustrated and angry and all that kind of stuff about a bunch of things. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just here to get you to start, just to be prepared for that. Okay. All right. So let's go back here. We're almost finished here. Let's see. I'll just skip this here, because they even look at some of this stuff here it's very ambiguous, stuff that they got in here. Okay. Let me just jump to here. Practical implications for you. If you have children under the threshold, for example, under the age of 7, depending on how your state interpretation applies, you may retain your exemption from the stricter rules. So your eligibility and benefit may not change as much in this respect. If your children are older, for example, school age above the threshold, you should prepare that you may now face more obligations, work, training hours, reporting requirements than before. Considering how childcare, schooling, and your ability to work or training will align with any new requirement, because meeting a new work training hour standard may be more difficult if your children are older and you have less flexibility. Ensure that your state SNAP office is aware of your household composition, age of children, work training status, and check communications with your state agency as the new rules are implemented. All right. So, yeah, it's going to be that's quite something there. They give you a lot of information. All right. And so I asked this question here, and I said, so based on what I'm reading so far, the burden to support these programs are being shifted from the federal government to the state level. Is that correct? I'm not going to read it all, the whole breakdown. Okay. Basically said, yes, your interpretation is absolutely correct. One of the core structural changes of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act is the reallocation of financial and administrative responsibilities for SNAP. And it's going back to the states. Okay. And it gives you a whole breakdown. This is stuff that you can look up on your own. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, let me ask this question. Okay. Because I want to know answer this question myself. Okay. So what if you are in a situation where you are handicapped? Let's come up with a person that is, let's say they're over 60 years old and they are wheelchair bound. Okay. I don't know what the answer is going to be on this. So we're doing this live and we're doing it together. So let's see. Okay. Let's see. So what if the person is over, I'll say let's say they are 61 years old, or is 61 years old and handicapped. How would this be? Okay. All right. I think that's a very good question to ask. Let's see. What will it come up with? Again, these platforms pull directly from the bill itself. Okay. So this isn't coming under somebody's opinion or anything like that. This is coming straight from the bill. All right. Okay, yes, under the HR 1 bill, okay, some of the work requirements and time limits for SNAP do not apply if you are medically certified as disabled or handicapped. Specifically, exemption for individuals medically unfit for employment. Section 10102 of the bill amends the work requirement rules for able-bodied adults without dependents. Under this amendment, the relevant statute, the Food and Nutrition Act of 2008, is changed so that the paragraph 2, which imposes work training time limit requirements, does not apply to an individual if they are medically certified as physically or mentally unfit for employment. Okay? So according to the bill itself, if you are someone that's like 61, in this example, I think I said 61 years old, and you are handicapped, how would that apply? What they're saying is if you are in that situation, then it would not apply as long as you are, been, certified as someone that's physically or mentally unfit for employment. Okay. So if a person is medically certified as physically or mentally unfit, they are exempt from those able-bodied. Okay. The whole thing, right? How does this apply if you're 61 years old and handicapped? Given that scenario, being 61-year-old mean that within that age range impacted by this new rules for able-bodied adults without dependents, which now goes up to the age 64. But because you are handicapped, assuming that means you are medically certified as physically or mentally unfit for employment, you would qualify for the exemption described above. That means you would not be required to meet the increased work hours or training obligations under that portion of the bill, as long as your medically certification is valid and recognized. Well, let's read the caveats. Okay. The exemption applies specifically to the work training time limit rules for able-bodied adults without dependents. If you are part of a household with children or have dependents, other rules may apply. Medically certified as physically or mentally unfit for employment means that there must be documentation, verification from a health professional that you are unable to work. The exact process and state agency implementations may vary. Other eligibility criteria for SNAP, income limits, resource limits, citizenship, residency status, deductions, etc. still apply. The exemption does not mean you automatically qualify for SNAP. It simply means that you are not exempt from one specific set of onerous rules. States will still have to implement the regulation and verify the exemption status. Administration and verification burdens may increase under the bill. All right, so there you go. So that's if you are someone that's handicapped, and let's say you are the age of 61, then there are some exemptions. But as I've been saying to you, my advice to you is to make sure you check with your state. Check with your state, okay? But from the federal standpoint, on the federal level, they said, we can make exceptions for that. That's what the federal government is saying. Now, the state, again, don't be surprised that some of these states, they may try to sneak in something in there and say, we don't care if you handicap or not, you better be at that workhouse. Now, if the state says that, you watch, they're going to try to say, see, this is what Trump, he pushed us to do this. Nah, that's y'all doing that. That's the state doing that. You understand? So again, I implore you, if you hear of any kind of referendum votes that are happening, any kind of elections that are going on the local level, this is going to be key on the local level. Be sure that you are very aware of anything that's going to a vote. All right. Your city council or whatever it is, you want to make sure that you stay kind of in the groove there, because these states are going to start jacking up some things because they're going to have to find the money to start covering this stuff. You understand what I'm saying? So I wanted to touch on that. In the meantime, let me just share with you this very ridiculous article because that video that I shared with you earlier, the lady in the car, talking about how you need to hit up these churches and all of that. I mean, she did have a point. People been paying tithes and offerings and all of that. You need to cash in on that. It's just true and so, but there's another side to that too. And so here you got Jamal Bryant, your favorite pastor, your favorite pastor in the world. He is saying that, oh my goodness, this is from the Griot. And they said, Pastor Jamal Bryant swaps tithes for food donations amid SNAP cuts and job losses. Oh my God. Now this is what a man of God is supposed to do. We need more man of God. We need more men of God doing this kind of stuff, y'all. With millions facing food insecurity amid the federal shutdown, Pastor Jamal Bryant is redirecting church giving to feed families in need. Well, see, this is why we read over here. Okay, let's read the article. All right, let's read, because, there's always details. Another pastor is turning away financial church offerings for a very different reason than what we've seen this month on social media. Yesterday, Pastor Jamal Bryant, who leads New Birth Church in Georgia, revealed how his church will support communities impacted by the government shutdown, SNAP benefit freeze, and climbing unemployment rates. Oh, I wish you were online here, because I'm talking Jamal Bryant right now. Oh, because I'm already loading the clip. I'm already loading it up. Anyway, instead of monetary offerings, Pastor Bryant asked the congregation to bring in canned food donations every Sunday in November to supply its King's Table drive-through food distribution initiative, which offers free groceries for those in need. We have a responsibility, he says on his sermon on Sunday. Our history is going to record that this president is the very first president in American history to starve his own citizens. On November the 1st, SNAP benefits are cut in this country, impacting 42 million Americans. That is, ladies and gentlemen, one out of every 7 people. Out of every 7 people in the room is on food assistance. One of every 7 who are watching online are on food assistance. He going on, right? He continues, we're going to perform miracles while the government is shut down. What am I asking of you is every Sunday in November, bring canned foods and items to church. Clean out your cupboard. Go to the supermarket, Publix, Costco, Walmart. Just don't go to Target. People are starving out here, ladies and gentlemen, but he's so mad. He's saying, but you may be starving, but don't you dare go to Target. And he mentioned Walmart. I'm glad he mentioned Walmart. Oh, I got a full clip coming right now, y'all. I'm loading it up. It's getting loaded up. He's running his mouth, but we're going to keep on going with him. We want you to be a blessing to families in the city and in this community, not just this congregation. Additionally, the church will use the funds raised during their other initiatives like group therapy and morning prayer to fuel the King's Table. To ensure, hold on, back up. The church will use the funds raised during their other initiatives like group therapy and morning prayer. Morning prayer? Why y'all taking an offering in morning prayer? Why y'all raising funds in morning? Anyway, okay. Maybe I'm reading too many details in this. Maybe that's what it is. Okay. To fuel the King's Table and to ensure the community members do not go hungry in these seasons of financial uncertainty. As previously reported by the Griot, the ongoing government shutdown has not only impacted thousands of employees nationwide, but also the SNAP, which officials say will have insufficient funds to pay full November benefits if the shutdown continues. Oh, here we go. You got to bring in the black women now. Here we go. Knowing that since March, 300,000 black women, knowing that since March, 300,000 black women have lost their jobs, knowing that this is the highest unemployment rate for black people in over 15 years, knowing that the government workers and the government contractors have been furloughed and have not received a check, even while senators and Congress people are receiving theirs, knowing that 43 million people are not receiving food benefits. The Holy Spirit arrested me in prayer. Oh. Y'all, should I do an AI of this? I got to do an AI video of this. I got to figure out what. I got to figure out what. I'm going to study the video because there's a video. I'm not going to play it. I got to do an AI video of this. Let me think of it, okay? Let me think of it a moment. They have given us so much material, haven't they? Marvin Winans, he's given us so much material. Oh my gosh. And Jamal Bryant, he is the meme machine. I got to go back. I got to go back and read this again. Even while senators and Congress people are receiving theirs, knowing that 43 million people are not receiving food benefits, the Holy Spirit arrested me in prayer. He's sharing, I didn't feel in good, kind conscience or in good faith that it would be appropriate today for me to do an over and above offering. I didn't feel like it would be right to ask people to march down with 5,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 or 1,000 when people don't know how they're going to pay their rent. They don't know how they're going to take care of their kids, don't know how they're going to even eat. Bryant noted various resources beyond New Birth King's Table throughout his sermon, encouraging everyone listening beyond local food distribution in Georgia. The pastor shared resources like findhelp.org and some of these other places here. And then he says, I am not going to do Giving Sunday until the Sunday after the government reopens. Let me read that again. He said, I am not going to do Giving Sunday until the Sunday after the government reopens. So what this fool has just acknowledged is that his church is tied to the hip to whatever the government does. That's what he's saying. He said, we ain't going to do Giving Sunday until Sunday after the government reopens. But you notice he didn't say anything about midweek service now, did he? See, you got to watch that stuff. You got to watch that stuff. He ain't say nothing about midweek service, and I guarantee you them lights got to be paid, okay? Because he ain't coming out his pockets for them lights. He ain't coming out those pockets for the heat either. He ain't coming out his pockets for those taxes either, okay? Somebody gonna pay that, and that's gonna be on midweek service. I guess they're gonna have a whole, Jesus wept offering or something like that. I don't know. Okay, so let's break this all down. Mr. Jamal Bryant, can I address you for a moment? Allow me to address you, Mr. Bryant, for a second. Okay, now, there was, not too long ago, there was an event, there was a situation that took place in the very county that your church is located. There was a plant that exploded. It caught fire, it exploded. Put chemicals all in the air. Thousands of people in your county, and not just in your county, but also in the surrounding Atlanta area were impacted by this. There were people who could not go back to their houses because of the poisons that this factory was putting out in the environment. We covered this story many times over. And from all the way out here in Arizona, we provided a solution for it the best way we could. People were getting sick all over the place. Animals were dying. We were out here telling people, okay, these are some of the things you need to do if you are out there. Okay, if this is, here's some things you need to look at. Here's some questions you need to ask, so forth and so on. We're going through the whole thing. We're giving you information from people on the ground that are in his own backyard, running tests on the soil, running tests on the water. And we're giving you that real time and saying, hey, y'all, if you in this area, here you go. What else did we do? Samba Tree, what we did, we said, listen, if you are in this area, let us know. We'll send it to you for free. And what we did is we put together a whole big whatever, different herbs or whatever to cleanse out people's lungs, to flush all that stuff out. I said, that's as much as we can do from out here, but we're going to do something. Now, that ain't no pat in the back. I'm just saying we were very moved by this because we used to live around there. And the whole time I'm sitting back and I said, okay, is this church going to say anything about this? Are they going to even mention anything about this? This is pretty major. This was set up, according to the initial analysis of that explosion, they said this was one of the worst natural disasters that have taken place in years. I'm not exaggerating here. You can look at it. New Birth didn't say a doggone thing about this. They didn't even mention it. We ain't hear nothing about that, what they were doing on the ground. Not one thing. And this county is made up of mostly black folks. But see, by saying something, what would that have done for Jamal Bryant? That would have messed him up because who was president around that time? Biden. And who did he want to be president? Kamala. So this was, I mean, if you're going to play politics here, which I wasn't, that was under their watch. Because there was a whole history. This was a Democrat area. This is a Democrat controlled area. And for years, they kept going back to this company and telling this company, hey, listen, y'all got a lot of hazards here. Y'all going to need to do something about it. And the company, they just like, go away. The guy that was sounding the alarm, the black guy, well, the day he sounded the alarm, he died. Ain't hear nothing from Jamal Bryant on that. Nothing. But now all of a sudden, you want to step out and be like, okay, well, we're going to do something about this. We're going to have to help our people because this mean Donald Trump, he doing stuff to our people and all this other stuff. Now, let me give you another thing. Number two, I'm scratching my head and I'm like, I thought the church was supposed to be doing this anyway. I thought y'all supposed to be feeding the hungry anyway. Why is it all of a sudden now, we got to line up, we got to do something? Why all of a sudden now you got to do something? You should have been doing that anyway. Yeah, this is the same pastor, by the way, that said that his solution to get young black men employed, he said he wanted to allocate some land so that he can grow weed. He wanted New Birth to have a weed farm. Yep, this is the same pastor that said that. So the point of the matter is this, is that, again, Jamal is just going to be him. He going to do him. He going to do his thing or whatever. But here's what I want you to understand is this, is that for stories like this, there are many voices out here who all have their own narratives. They want you to get into fear. Remember, and this goes back to the whole mental health thing again. They all want to get that fear. Your amygdala, that's the part of your brain. That's where those emotions are. To get you into fear, right? And so what does your brain do? Your brain, it just puts out, it's a script writer. It's a script generator. Your brain focuses on the past so that it can project your future. But you are not your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. The real you is behind those thoughts. Why am I saying that? Because these greasy ass preachers, they love to specialize in reminding you on where you came from. And they will continue to do this stuff and say, see, this is how they treat black people in this country and all this. And you remember they went through this. We went through this before, but we shall overcome. We shall overcome someday, shouldn't we? All of that. And no, What are you doing now? What are you doing right now, Bryant? What are you doing right now, this second, for that disabled child that you have? That you didn't bother showing up at court to handle your business. Instead, you was out on your honeymoon with your new wife, but you couldn't show up to court for your other baby mama who was needing some support from you to take care of your child that's got mental health crisis. You understand? So it's this is getting old, it's getting tired, and it's getting dumb. So again, so the purpose of this broadcast was to really get you to always go to the source. Okay. I am not, when it comes to like these different platforms like ChatGPT and all that stuff, are they perfect? No, they're not. However, they are helpful tools that will move you past just giving into the fear of someone that you're listening to up here talking about, oh my God, we're going to all die. They cutting us stuff off and all this other stuff. Don't give into that. Now, I will give you this. This is the last thing I will tell you. I did hear somebody say something that it's a bookmark in my mind. I'm not really giving any energy to it, but it is a bookmark nonetheless. They were saying that, one thing you might want to keep in mind is that, come November, you at the grocery store and, you got your groceries or whatever, and you go into the car, just be mindful of your surroundings because, some of these people out here are crazy and they may want to do their Christmas shopping early, starting with what's in your cart. You understand? So you might see an increase of that. You might, okay? I am not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying, just put that as a bookmark in your brain and that's it. But don't give too much energy to that. But I still think it is worth mentioning at least so that you can kind of, just be prepared. For me, I always tell people, just keep your head on the swivel. Keep your head on the swivel, at all times. Don't be in fear, but just keep your head on the swivel. One last thing I do want to show you is this. Did you know that Walmart, 25% of all of their sales, 25% of all their sales comes from SNAP? Did you know that? 25%. This is from Supermarket News, okay? 25% of all of their sales. Walmart captures a whopping 25% of SNAP dollars in general merchandise spending, according to a recent analysis by data and tech company Numerator. The report also found that SNAP recipients overall are struggling due to proposed cuts and limits on the types of products these shoppers can purchase. And then it goes on, right? Now, okay, if that's the case, 25% of all sales comes from SNAP. Let me just tell you something. Walmart, they got their lobbyists in DC that are trying to shut this thing down. They're like, nah, you messing with our money now. So y'all gonna have to figure something out quick. So Walmart is on the side of these people who are the same people who are out here saying that if you don't, if y'all don't give us our SNAP money, we're gonna start robbing Walmarts. But Walmart is on your side. They're like, yeah, we why you robbing us? We trying to get this thing back on and popping again. Because 25% of our sales, it's gone. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Walmart is gonna be hurting. One last thing too, I was gonna mention is that it was what was it? It was Walmart. It was also it was something else regarding that. Walmart, 25%. And it was something else. It escapes me. It will come to me in a moment. Oh, man. It was, okay, excuse me. It was dealing with Walmart. And I said the 25%. It'll come to me. I unfortunately, that thing just escaped me. I was like, it was in back of my mind, and I was like, okay, Dwayne, make sure you don't forget this because this is important. it was something else regarding this whole situation here. It's coming. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Y'all gotta give me some time. It's coming. It was y'all seeing this in real time. Now I'm laughing. Hold on. It was something else. It was hold on, y'all. hold on. It was still dealing with Walmart. It was dealing with 25%. I covered that. Oh, there you go. The rumor is, people have been pushing this rumor out saying that Walmart starting November the 1st. There you go. It took time. Sometime my book carrier, in my brain, sometimes he trip over and then drop the books. And I'm like, man, you got to go back. I meant to say that. Anyway. Okay, so what's going on is that there's this huge misinformation that's out here saying that starting November the 1st, that Walmart is going to go 100% online, and that you are not only way you're going to be able to shop at Walmart is online. That is complete rubbish. That is not true at all. That is not true at all. That is not true. I went and verified it. And Walmart said, no, that is not true at all. That is all false information. So if you're hearing anybody that's out here that's pushing that, that is 100% false. Okay. They're not shutting stores down, at least not yet. But I will tell you that with all of these different faces that are out here on social media threatening to rob Walmart and CVS and all of that, I'm just saying, expect things like increased police, presence or security and all that kind of stuff. Make sure you got your receipt. I always hold on my receipt before I'm walking out that door. I'm like, yep, I'm good. Even though the guy at Walmart, sometimes he be half asleep sitting up there, they ain't half checking, but still, I don't want any mess. You know what I mean? I paid for my stuff. Let me get on out of here. So just keep your head on a swivel in these times. Okay. But that is it. I think I covered everything that I needed to cover on that. We just want to, straighten some things out because there's a lot of misinformation out there. Okay. But we're here to help y'all out here. Okay. We fam. All right. All right. So that's it. That's all I have for y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in and really appreciate you guys. And that's all I have for you. If you have any questions for us at all, make sure you check us out. And, you can, remember Sombertree right now, we're running at up to 30% off sale. Make sure you take advantage of that, up to 30% off, sombertree.com. All right. Take care now. See you again soon.